calcium. We said calcium is a contracting element. It contracts the muscles, and that is the function actually. So when it contracts the muscles, one, if it's in the glands, it will eject the hormones. If it is in the neurotransmitters, it will eject the neurotransmitters from the synaptic cleft. If it is in your glands in the gut, it will eject gastric juice. Contraction of the glands, they eject the juice. So imagine that. If it's in your heart, contraction. When you contract, you pump blood out of the heart. This is one of the reasons why the drugs that are used for heart problems, the digoxin, are used at a very low dose, and they just block the efflux, the exit of calcium from the cell. So they maintain calcium inside the heart muscles, and the heart contracts and blood comes out. 0.25 micrograms of digoxin. 0.25 and 0.5 thereabout. A very small amount. These are the ones that are called highly potent drugs. Because if you exceed that 0.25, this guy will go into a heart, should we call it a heart attack or just a heart shutdown? Because the muscle will be constantly contracting, and the mzee is gone. So, ladies, those of you who have Obabas and they're using 0.125, yes, as low as 0.125 micrograms of digoxin, please make sure you know. Make sure you know that this gentleman here is not supposed to prove a point to me. I'm the one who is supposed to prove a point to him, because I'll get something from him. So do not allow him to exercise his muscles all through, and then now he has to pop digoxin, and you will stay in jail, my friend. Because the family will not care that this gentleman was having his fun. They will say you are the one who killed that gentleman. Okay? Yeah, chunguza baba wako. Anyway, so calcium plays a very important role in muscle contraction. Is the reason why we move, the reason why we lift heavy and all that. And calcium is a contracting muscle. So remember this, is a contracting element. When your muscles are contracting, what is happening is they are busy tapping calcium from the bloodstream into the muscle for them to contract, into the muscle cells for them to contract, and now you can lift. But remember this, because during lifting, you need to tear the muscles up. Once you tear the muscles up, and now you can repair, as you're resting, they repair and heal, and now you can actually lift heavier. And that's how you hypertrophy your muscles, you grow the muscles. But look at it this way. When the muscles are busy contracting, calcium is being picked from blood. But I want you to know, in our blood, we only have 1% of calcium. 1%. 99% of our calcium is in the bones, and is very inactive, because when it goes into the bone, it is not ionized. It's just calcium, the element. But the calcium ion is the one that is the 1% in blood. So that is the one that is actually active and binds to things and causes muscle contraction and all that. 1%. Now, when this 1% goes down, we are going into hypocalcemia, right? When you go into hypocalcemia, the body simply taps into the calcium in the bone, converts it into an ion, and pumps it into the blood to maintain the homeostasis. This is a message to those people who are taking calcium supplements. Pregnant women, older people, you're going to get into a problem. Because look, on the muscle level, when you're lifting in the gym, you need the calcium to contract the muscles. But look at somebody who has hypertension, who has been diagnosed with hypertension. It also means that their calcium that is in the cells that are lining the blood vessels, 𝐂𝐀𝐋𝐂𝐈𝐔𝐌, it's high. So when you have calcium in your blood vessels, the muscles, the smooth muscles that are lining the blood vessels, when you have calcium in those, it means they are going to contract. When the smooth muscles contract, the blood vessel is going to constrict. When it's going to constrict, possibly let me use the word narrow. When it's going to narrow, the blood pressure increases. So calcium is actually one of the elements that actually causes hypertension. But imagine this. Most of the elderly people who already have hypertension or have been diagnosed with hypertension are the ones that are actually being given supplements for calcium. So imagine that. So you give them calcium and then you give them nifedipine. Now I want you to settle down and just think with me, because I'm here to open up your head. Nifedipine, amlodipine, those drugs for hypertension, they are called calcium channel blockers. What do they do as their mode of action? From the name calcium channel blockers, they block the influx of calcium into the smooth muscle cells in the blood vessels. So they block the calcium from flowing into the cells. When they do that, the muscle cells relax and the blood vessel dilates and blood pressure disappears. But it disappears for just that moment when the nifedipine is still in your system. When the liver breaks it down and the nifedipine goes down in the system, your blood vessel goes back to the new normal, which is the abnormal. So hypertension is still there. That's why drugs for hypertension do not treat or cure hypertension. They mask the symptoms of hypertension. They cause dilation. Once they're out of the system, constriction is back. So if you're relying on drugs for hypertension to heal you, you're wasting your time. Go fix the kitchen. So look at it that way. So calcium, you're given calcium channel blockers to block calcium from going into the cell. And then your doctor writes a prescription with calcium supplements, the osteocares. You know that? And those supplements, read the ingredients. Those calcium supplements are actually calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is an equivalent to chalk. That chalk that we used to write on the board with, that is calcium carbonate. So you're taking in a lot of calcium and the side effects are coming in handy. One of the side effects is actually hypertension. Second side effect is arrhythmias because of abnormal contraction of the heart muscles. And then constipation because calcium salts cause constipation. You're going to have a lot of constipation, imagine. So these are the side effects of those calcium supplements. So if they are on those calcium supplements, why don't you tell them that their body needs very minimal calcium? They don't need the supplement. The body can actually tap in the bone and give you calcium. But most importantly, the most important source of calcium is 1, fermented cabbages, 2, the eggs, 3, bone broth. Actually, bone broth is on top of that list. So when you're drinking that soup, you're getting enough calcium. Remember, you just want 1% in your blood. But most importantly, remember, as you take in those calcium supplements and you continue eating the green leafy vegetables like the spinach that come with oxalates, these oxalates or oxalic acid is going to be excreted through the kidneys, through urine. But when you're taking the calcium supplements, there is a chance that these calcium supplements in excess are going to bind or react with this oxalic acid in the kidneys and cause you the most famous kidney stone type that is called calcium oxalate stones. So your doctor is busy telling you to drop spinach, but continue taking calcium supplements. You will still get oxalic acid from other things, citrus fruits. And then this poses a chance of them reacting to form calcium oxalate crystals that are insoluble, and they will start causing you problems with the kidney stones. Now you'll need a surgery. Now you'll need a procedure that is very expensive because of the supplements. So 1, constipation, 2, cardiac arrhythmias, 3, hypertension, 4, kidney problems. Imagine that. So you're busy taking, I have rickets. I tell you, go eat red meat. You get that red meat in plenty that is fatty. You'll get vitamin D from that because that is cholesterol, and vitamin D comes from cholesterol. Number 2, go and enjoy the sun. 30 minutes every day of the sun to actually activate cholesterol into vitamin D. Number 4, fast so that you can actually protect your kidneys and your liver, because those 2 organs are the ones that activate calcium. Not calcium, they activate vitamin D from the inactive form to the active form. You must have functional kidneys and the functional liver. You must have a very good skin to absorb light. Do not let them make a study and tell you that the sun will cause you, the UV radiation will cause you cancer. They are lying to you because they want you to go on supplements. But these same people who are telling you that they don't have the same skin as you. So why do you believe them? I mean, Africa would have had all these cases of skin cancer. All of us would have it. So don't allow them to lie to you because they're the ones who have very bad skin. They need the melanin. We have it. But they're the same people who will come with new technologies of drying up your nails, right? So they tell you to avoid the sun, but they tell you to go a nail parlor and put your fingers into that thing that has high intensity UV, that is man-made. So avoid the sun, which is natural, but go and take the one that is man-made. And then you come out of that salon with your good nails, your fake nails. They are shining and everybody's telling you have good nails and you are happy. That is skin cancer. But the sun will not cause you skin cancer. So eat healthy, eat fatty meats, enjoy the sun, go work out, fast. You will get all you need. Then drink bone broth. Do I really need a supplement for calcium when I can get calcium in nature? Oh, so calcium plays a very important role in muscle and bone development, plays a role in heart function, plays a role in blood clotting. By the way, did you know calcium? You need calcium for blood clotting? That clotting cascade has calcium. The clotting casket has calcium. So therefore, if you don't have calcium, if you cut yourself, there will be no clotting. So yes, you need the calcium, but get it from natural sources. And if you don't get it from natural sources, your body will still tap calcium from the bone. It is needed in very small quantities in the blood because of its effects to your blood system. So those people who have arthritis, those people who have weak bones and all that, and you're busy taking calcium supplements, be very cautious. Now, let me tell you something about the same calcium. Drugs for hypertension, they are called diuretics. They are a group of drugs called diuretics. Diuretics means diuresis. So what do? They help you urinate. When you urinate more, your blood volume falls, your blood pressure falls. So they are called diuretics or diuretics, depending on who taught you English. Diuretics are classified into different classes, but two major classes that affect calcium levels. One is the loop diuretics. Loop diuretics is where we have the Lasix. It's called furosemide. Loop diuretics. So these loop diuretics, they decrease calcium levels. So they help you clear up calcium from the system. And when they do that, you go into hypocalcemia, and now you'll have the need for calcium. So you can imagine this. But they are good because you see, when they lower calcium from the blood, they can actually help you improve your outcomes in terms of hypertension. Because they lower the calcium in the system, the more flexible your blood vessels, the dilation, they lower the blood pressure. So they are good because they are easing up on the fluid in the system and also easing up on the calcium that causes contraction or constriction of blood vessels causing hypertension. So that's why they are good at this. But they can send you into hypocalcemia so fast, and that heart can actually go into a standstill. But the other group of diuretics is called the thiazide diuretics. You've heard of HCTZ, hydrochlorothiazide? Most of you are on that drug, right? The doctor writes HCTZ, 25 milligrams or 50 milligrams. It helps you ease up on fluid levels, but guess what? This is a diuretic or diuretic that actually increases calcium levels. Now, my question will always come here. If you're taking a thiazide diuretic that is increasing calcium levels in blood, are we going to get any better? As you're taking the HCTZ as a person who has been diagnosed with hypertension, HCTZ is actually part of the first line medication in hypertension. So tell me, if you're taking this HCTZ as a drug for hypertension, and of course you're supposed to take it for a lifetime, according to the syllabus and according to the conventional way of treatment of hypertension. You're taking it and then it's increasing calcium levels in blood. And calcium is going to precipitate into the blood vessel, the cells on the blood vessel wall, the smooth muscle cells on the blood vessel wall, and cause constriction of the blood vessel to increase blood pressure. Are we solving anything? Do you see where my problems come in? Because trust me, every drug has multiple side effects, and every drug has multiple interactions. Interacts with food, interacts with minerals, interacts with other drugs, interacts with blood samples and all that. So every drug it comes with all the burdens. So if you're wise, would you really go for a thiazide diuretic, or will you really just drop the sugars and let your blood vessels just stabilize on their own? Which one will you choose? The one that comes with high calcium levels that will cause you more problems so that you stick to the drug for a lifetime, or the one that will actually come with no side effects but essential benefits? So why don't we just drop the sugars in form of carbohydrates? You don't need them. If you've been diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension, what is the need for the sugars anyway? Your body is already rewarding you for eating excess sugars by giving you diabetes and hypertension. So at this level in time, why are you topping up on the sugars so that you can actually go and take a drug? Oh, if I were you, I will jump into those diets with everything that I have and see what happens. And I realized some of our parents are just scared of dropping the drugs because the doctor sold them the fear that if you drop these drugs, blood pressure will shoot and you'll die of a stroke or a heart attack. They were sold the fear and they believe it. Imagine your parents' blood pressure have stabilized, but they can't drop the drugs. They can't, because the doctor says don't drop the drug. We can change the drug, but we cannot drop the drug, even though your blood pressures have stabilized. Oh, the drug, do not be lied to that your blood pressures have stabilized. If you drop the drug, you will get into problems. I understand that. We have rebound hypertension, where your body is so used to medication, and if you drop them once, you'll get rebound hypertension, which is more dangerous. But why is the same doctor not teaching you on how to taper down medication slowly and carefully so that your system adapts and lets the drugs go? Oh, your dad has been on HCTZ for a whole 5-10 years. He doesn't get any better. They only add another drug because you see the combination is actually what? Losartan H, right? Losartan H. So losartan, a different drug. And you remember we said Satan. So losartan. Is losartan. Plus what? Plus a thiazide diuretic, which is hydrochlorothiazide. So now you're taking two drugs that are coming with different side effects. Shall we ever get better?